Part 9: The Betrayal. Trusting someone is hard enough. But what happens when the person you trust most is already one of them? You've always thought your best friend had your back, but now you're not so sure. There's something in their eyes, a darkness you can't explain. Are they helping you, or leading you straight into the hands of the vampires? You never saw it coming. The one person you thought you could always count on, your best friend, has just revealed their true colors. They've been a part of the vampire cult all along. But before you can even wrap your head around this betrayal, you're plunged into a nightmare. Trapped in a place where survival seems impossible, the vampires close in, and the only way out is to confront the terrifying truth about the person you once trusted with your life. It all started when you first met your best friend. First, it felt like fate. You bonded instantly, shared secrets, laughed at dumb jokes, and built a friendship you thought would never be broken. They were the kind of person you could tell anything to, the one who always knew how to make you feel safe, understood. But there were always those moments, those little things that didn't quite add up. The way they'd look at you when you weren't paying attention, as if sizing you up. The way they'd disappear at odd hours of the night, only to come back with an excuse that felt too rehearsed. Maybe you brushed them off as quirks, just your friend being, well, your friend. But deep down, you knew something was off. Then came the night you found the blood. It was a simple thing at first. A red stain on their shirt, easily dismissed. You thought it was from a cut, maybe a mistake while cooking dinner. But the smell, it wasn't just blood. It was different, thick, rich. Almost like it had been sitting for hours. That's when the doubt really started to creep in. It was too perfect a cover-up, too smooth. And still, you tried to ignore it. Who wants to believe that the person they trust more than anyone could be hiding something so dark, so horrifying? But the nightmares came. One after the other, each one worse than the last. You'd wake up in cold sweats, heart pounding in your chest, feeling like you'd narrowly escaped something that wasn't just a dream. And every time, there they were, in the background of your thoughts, your best friend. Always watching. Always waiting. You confronted them. Just a simple question, what's really going on? But they just smiled, gave that same reassuring laugh, and assured you that everything was fine. Yet there was something in their eyes that spoke volumes. The darkness had grown, and it wasn't something you could ignore anymore. And then it happened. The night you thought you would finally understand everything. They invited you over for a quiet evening at their house, just like old times. You thought it would be a normal night, maybe catch up on some movies, eat snacks, and forget about everything for a while. But when you walked in, the atmosphere felt wrong, too quiet. The lights were dim, just a little too much. And then you saw it. The door was slightly open, leading to a room you'd never seen before. You'd never been this far into their house before, and you had always assumed they were just keeping it private. But now you had this gnawing feeling that you shouldn't go in there. Your curiosity got the best of you. As you stepped inside, you felt the hairs on your neck stand up. There, in the middle of the room, was a table. First, you thought it was just some weird decoration, maybe some strange hobby of theirs. But when you took a closer look, your heart sank. It wasn't just a table. It was a ritualistic altar. Blood-stained symbols, strange markings on the walls, and a chilling sense that something ancient and sinister had been happening in this very room. And then you heard the voice. That cold, familiar voice. I should have told you sooner. You spun around, and there they were, your best friends, standing in the doorway, but they weren't the same person anymore. Their eyes were black. Their skin pale as death. And the smile? It wasn't the comforting, familiar smile you knew. It was something else. Something dark. Before you could even react, they spoke again, their voice icy and distant. I'm sorry it had to come to this. But it's too late for you now. That's when the door slammed shut behind you and you were locked inside with them. The weight of their betrayal hit you like a ton of bricks. You never expected this, never thought the person who meant the most to you could be part of something so evil, so twisted. But now there was no turning back. They slowly walked toward you, their steps deliberate, as though savoring your fear. The air grew colder, and you could feel the presence of others in the shadows. Vampires, there were more of them now, and they were closing in. You were surrounded. Your best friend took another step closer, the darkness in their eyes growing deeper. I didn't want this for you. But it's what's best for us. The cult needs you. You'll be one of us too. You'll understand soon. You stumbled back, heart racing. How could you trust them now? How could you even consider what they were offering? But there was no time to think. They were coming for you, and the only way out was to fight. Fight not just for your life, but for the person you used to know. You looked them in the eyes, searching for a trace of the friend you once had, but all you saw was the darkness. Please, you whispered, don't do this. But they just shook their head. It's too late. With one final chilling move, they stepped forward and plunged their hand into your chest. Pain was unbearable, and for a moment you thought everything was over. But then something happened. The darkness in their eyes faltered. A flicker of doubt. A moment of hesitation. And in that split second, you did what you had to do. You fought back. With everything you had, you pushed them away. The vampires surrounding you hesitated, watching in silence. You grabbed a shard of glass from the table, your only weapon, and you slashed through the air, creating enough space to break free. Your best friend stood frozen for a moment, staring at you in disbelief. But the hesitation was enough. It was your chance to escape. You ran, not knowing where you were going, only that you had to get away. You didn't dare look back. You burst through the front door, out into the cold night, and for the first time in what felt like forever, you could breathe. You ran, heart pounding, not knowing where the road would take you, only that you had to survive. In the end, the truth was undeniable. Person you trusted more than anyone had led you straight into the hands of the vampires. And now everything had changed. The friendship you thought you had was nothing more than a lie, a trap to bring you into their dark world. You'll never forget the way their eyes looked as they stepped closer to you, as they revealed their true intentions. And now all you can do is wonder how many others are out there, hiding in plain sight, wearing the face of a friend, a lover, a confidant, but only waiting for the right moment to reveal their true nature. The darkness is everywhere, and it's impossible to know who you can trust anymore. But one thing is certain, you'll never make the same mistake again. Want to hear what happens next? Make sure you're subscribed.